This is October 29th, Saturday.
Okay. I wish the same can be said about what I'm about to do. Simple isn't the adjective I will use to describe the task at hand. Because really, how does one tell their husband that they want to separate and say that, no, this is not a divorce? Not yet, at least. The possibility is there, but still, how am I even to explain that to Luke without him throwing a fit? Cutting too deeply into my sausages. What?
That's a weird saying.
I opened my mouth to oh, she's eating.
Oh, okay. Breakfast sausage. Gotcha.
I opened my mouth to excuse myself. That is, until I spied Luke mashing and stirring his poached eggs with a fork like a petulant child. He has been silent all the while, chin in his hand and elbow resting on the table. I worry that my absence after the debacle may have caused more harm than good. Oh, sorry.
All right.
She just said Luke.
What was it that she was going to say?
Luke.
Oh, okay. Actually, while we're at it.
Yeah.
The journal. New for the 28th.
We saw those ones.
Yep. Oh, we did?
Yeah. I recognize the drawings.
Oh, okay. That was where we talked with her. There's the giant cake and that thing.
Ice sculpture.
Oh, yeah, and then we danced. Yeah, okay. Luke went down. Marianne's up. Zach went up to being where it originally started.
Good.
Okay.
I think we need a bit of a break. You know, some time apart.
At my words, he grows still and silent. I'm not quite sure whether I should be worried or not. I take it as my cue to keep talking.
It's not permanent or anything like that. Just for a while. In a few days, perhaps. I was thinking I can move back into our penthouse in the meantime, but I won't be moving out right away, so that I can help settle everything here. And I haven't even thought of packing yet. And I'll want to ask Johans to assign some of our staff. Unless you want the penthouse anyway. Then I'll stay here instead.
No, you take the penthouse. It'll be easier for you.
It isn't supposed to be this easy, is it? Can he really react so aloof to it?
Isn't this to your liking? I imagine that you'd like the space and independence. You'll have the bed and covers to yourself, and you can have whatever you want prepared for meals. You can even have all the wine you want, though I'd rather that you don't.
This isn't about that, Hana. Well, it's partly that, but...
The man stops playing with his food, choosing instead to push the plate aside.
What's wrong, Luke?
He slumps back in his chair and just stops short of putting his feet up on a table. I suspect he's wanting some wine or absinthe by now, but any sort of alcohol is suspiciously absent in his hands.
Aside from that disaster yesterday and you telling me you want a divorce, everything is peachy keen. Will you want me to start on the letters then? To start the divorce settlements and whatnot? Will you be seeking ways to throw me out onto the street without a penny to my name?
No, Luke, this isn't a divorce. I just told you this is only temporary. Are you really having a sulk because of what she said yesterday?
I am having a sulk because you believe her. You stormed out and now you're asking for us to split up? Soon enough, you'll want to throw me out like I'm a piece of trash.
Do you think I would be this calm if I believed her, Lucille Mitchell Wright?
Full name.
Because believe me, if I did, well, it wouldn't be pretty. Besides, I know how you feel about children. It makes a whole statement laughable.
Sure, whatever you say.
His mouth draws into a thin line, and I can't bring myself to comment on his half-hearted reply. To me, the silence that follows feels oppressive. It only emphasizes the wall that has been built up by my obeisance?
Obeisance? Yeah.
And his hubris.
Hubris.
I feel so uncultured. What are these
I'm
words?
not sure how you pronounce the obeisance, but it's just like the obeying.
Oh.
Just like, yeah.
And it looms between us, keeping us apart.
When are you leaving? In a week?
It won't take that long to pack. After All Saints, perhaps? I'll go and inform the staff of this.
He only nods. And I'll be lying if I said that didn't disappoint me. I expected more resistance. The man could be stubborn as a mule if he wants to be. Perhaps I can leave now, just to spite him. But that isn't like me. Even if this does end in a divorce, a thing we both surely wish to avoid, we can still leave on amicable terms. There's no point in making a mountain out of a molehill.
What are you still doing here?
Wow.
Ugh,
Just leave. You still have some packing to do, don't you?
jerk.
Go ahead. I won't stop you.
So,
Go ahead.
the fact that he was angry with her rather than
Like apologetic?
rather than either apologetic or hurtful, just in my mind kind of confirms that
It's true.
it's true. Because
Either it's true or he's just a jerk anyway, for how
Well,
he's handling it.
Well, it's kind of like trying to redirect it off of him and blame her for it is kind of what it seems to me, and that's like kind of in my eyes like, well, but you're obviously just in my mind. I guess in my mind it kind of confirms that yeah. Go ahead and do nothing. There isn't much to it seems, whenever I step up to the plate and try to take responsibility for something. Perhaps because everything is already being handled by someone hired specifically for that job? And with Johannes overseeing the stack and Luke handling everything else as a whole, that doesn't leave much for me. I can't even take the job of delegation because all it takes is a word from one of the senior staff and everything will be taken care of for me. Moving in here a few days ago may well have been the chore that took the most effort from me. And that didn't take any real effort at all.
Yes, Hannah, go buy a mansion in the middle of nowhere. Good idea. Great plan.
There are no dishes to set aside and busy myself with. Any mess left behind is now nearly non-existent. To sit on a counter while eating cake is supposed to be my next plan. Alas, there isn't even one to finish off. I don't really know what brought me to the kitchens in the first place. It's not like I'm craving anything else, nor do I have any unfinished business left here. There's a calling to this room.
In the basement?
Speaking of calling, why not do just that? Might as well, since I have nothing else to do. At least that will require some effort on my part. How cut off the rest of Luxburn Mansion is, and with how long it was abandoned before we moved in, having a landline is still out of the question. The solution is supposed to be our mobiles, though it isn't much considering how spotty the signal is in the area. It'll take a bit of maneuvering to get even a single bar as it is. It takes a bit, but I said it would. It takes a bit as I said it would. I have to park my rear on one of the cold drawers, but it suits me just fine. Another matter that needs my effort is who to call. She who must not be named is certainly off the list.
Rochelle.
Rochelle. That doesn't leave much in the category of close friends who attended the party, along with the category of who else is awake at this early hour. But soon enough I manage, and the call goes through.
Hello, Rebecca Gales here. Who's this?
Good morning, Becky.
Hannah? Oh wait, how did you get my number?
You responded to your RSVP through the phone. It's all saved in here, of course. I thought I'd like to say hi and make plans and get together sometime. Also, I'd love to hear news about your mother and father and about you, my dear. Oh, I hope I didn't wake you up.
Oh, you're good. It's sports day at school today, so I was just prepping for that.
Figures that you'd be a teacher as well. I'm sure your students must absolutely adore you.
Don't know about that.
Mathematics?
History, actually. Anyway, it's real nice to know you've got my number. I was going to ask for yours because Mom wanted to keep in touch.
You could have asked, silly girl. I would have gladly given it to you.
Couldn't, though, because, well, the thing that happened. But really am sorry, though. I gotta run. School, is there anything else you want to say?
Oops,
Don't want to
sorry.
use the mobile while driving.
Oh, of course, of course. I shouldn't keep you. But I wanted to thank you for your company yesterday.
Not a problem.
I was hoping you could thank Zachary on my behalf as well. He was really kind and wonderful.
Well, you can tell him that yourself if you want. I can give you his number.
Oh, no, I don't want to be a bother. Intruding on his privacy.
Pretty sure he'd be fine with it. If you two on a first-name basis and all. So, his number, right, it's...
The call starts to go static, much to my frustration. The strange clicking noise drowns out most of her words, too. I can barely understand what she's saying.
I understand it perfectly.
And the line completely dies. I can feel a headache coming along, just building up, starting from a light throbbing on one side of my head. The static is gone, and that helps a lot. But there's still that incessant, horrible clicking. Again, and again, and again. Which doesn't make sense. The mobile's turned off, isn't it? And if it isn't coming from the phone, then where? Looking about, I can't help but let my eyes be drawn to the hatch leading into the wine cellar once more. That is when the clicking stops, and I can hear that crying. That familiar crying from before. What happened the other day when I was told that nobody should have been down there? I tried to forget it because of how it unsettled me so. One can hardly do that. I'm looking at the very thing I'm trying to forget. Somebody's crying down there again. But if I leave it alone, it simply won't stop bothering me for the rest of the day. They might have forgotten to lock it with the party going on.
This again? If somebody is pulling my leg, I will not be happy.
We didn't even get to pick.
True enough. All it takes is a bit of a pull to open the hatch. As I look down to the cellar, a sense of uneasiness washes over me. It isn't just the sudden onset of vertigo and nausea, but also the darkness. It's suffocating.
We're gonna die.
I'm gonna die. And as I look down, it feels as if it's looking back at me. I worry that something will suddenly pull me into the deep. The cries drown beneath the shrieks that start echoing in my head, high and shrill, like nails being dragged across a chalkboard. They're all screaming, shouting at me. And I can just feel her rage. Help me. She wants to drown me, drag me down, and crush me in the very depths of darkness until there's nothing left of me. The deep abyss waits for me. For my death. They're all calling for it. This is a nightmare. There is a rope around my neck, and I can feel the rest of me being torn apart. And they're still screaming. I'm screaming. Though it is not my voice that escapes my lips. It claws through, climbing up and forcing its way up my throat, like putrid bile. I choke and gag, yet I scream and shriek all the same. And I'm me, but not me.
supposed to hit these? Anne!
Q. T, J. Okay. All right. It pushes me down to my knees before I'm prone and vulnerable on my stomach. It makes me tumble, and I just feel my whole body seizing, writhing on the floor. Everything and nothing hurts. It feels like I'm on the verge of death.
Well, maybe.
And if I'm not dying, I nearly wish I actually am.
Hana? Hana, what is going on in here? Why are you?
Brains.
Seeing Luke, something snaps back, and I'm able to take a gasp of air on my own volition for the first time in what felt like centuries. I would have rejoiced and cried for his name if the pain still did not rack my body. Instead, all I can do is stare listlessly as he comes to my side and lifts me up, cradling me in his arms.
I can't figure out how she's sitting.
She's sitting on her bum and she's like got both of her knees bent. Kind of one like
That'd be very uncomfortable.
yeah, that would hurt my legs to sit like that.
Yeah.
He tries to get me to my feet, perhaps to take me out of here. But all he's able to do is get me to sit, make sure I'm not thrashing on the floor.
Trashing.
Trashing?
I don't know what that means. Thrashing sounds better.
I'm guessing it's some British slang for something. I can still feel my muscles spasm, limbs jerking like a puppet's on a string. Luke holds me tight and keeps me still so that I do not hurt myself anymore. Whatever it is that happened, it has my mind feeling frayed and battered. Eventually, the pain dies down into a dull ache, and my tongue stops feeling like cotton. It's only now that I can feel the wetness on my cheeks, tears streaking down my face. Oof, that's a nasty cough. Racks my body now that I don't feel like choking. And it just all feels so horrible. But I don't care. I don't care.
Luke, please.
What happened here? Who did this to you?
I don't know. I am so sorry.
Shh, it's all right. You're safe now, Hana. You're safe now.